Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. It is Friday night, August 27th, and we got two shows to recap here today. We're going to be talking about WWE Smackdown and AEW Rampage. And oh my gosh, guys, what a day it has been. I will tell you right now, this is officially my third show of the day. So just to give you guys a quick rundown of how this day has been going, I woke up super early. I had an 8 a.m. show with Wrestle Talk and then got ready, drove an hour out to Los Angeles, like in the Grove area, and it took forever to get there because there was so much traffic. But anyways, got there, did a 90-minute stream there selling different types of kitchen appliances and all of that stuff, drove an hour back in traffic, and then afterwards got home, watched 2 hours of SmackDown, 1 hour of Rampage, and now I'm here to do my third stream. So I will tell you that today has been a little bit of a frantic day. I legitimately walked into my house 3 minutes before SmackDown started. And then, of all things, Fox Sports, the app where I'm able to watch SmackDown for free on the West Coast, was not working at all. So I legitimately had a difficult time watching SmackDown today. Eventually, I got things all worked out, but like the first 20 minutes was very hard to navigate. But we got that all figured out here today. So as you can tell, it's been a little bit of a wild day here today. Now, the other thing that I do want to mention, though, is that I did not think, I'm just going to be honest with you guys, I did not think we had a strong edition of SmackDown, and I did not think we had a strong edition of Rampage here tonight. I thought that both shows were just two shows in terms of like a big spectacle like we normally have. I didn't think that SmackDown lived up to the post SummerSlam it didn't live up considering that, we had the return of Becky Lynch. We had the return of Brock Lesnar. Obviously, Brock Lesnar wasn't on today's show, but just coming off of the momentum from SummerSlam, I didn't really feel it on the show here tonight. And then in terms of AEW Rampage, this is their third episode, and I would go as far as to say that this obviously wasn't it was perfectly fine, but it wasn't the best one out of the other two. And that's for obvious reasons, given that the first one was the debut show, and then the second one was like history making with CM Punk. So obviously the third one is going to fall a little bit short of expectations. So with that being said, I thought that both shows were like okay. And we do have stuff to talk about from both shows. And we also have some news bits to get into. And I guess we'll talk about those as well, just to kind of add a little something to the stream. So we'll get to all of that. But we got a couple of super chats. And this one is from Ray O, who says, why did they advertise CM Punk? And I am an unhappy customer, grr. So I did not read the spoilers or anything for AEW Rampage. So I legitimately had no idea, what was going to really go down on the show. And usually I go ahead of time and, they announce a lot of stuff ahead of time. We know what matches are going to be on or what's going to be happening. I didn't even realize that they were going to do this CM Punk Darby Allin thing until they announced it on the show because I was so busy today. I didn't have time to go on AEW social media to go look. And I normally do, so I'm a little bit more aware. But this time, because it was just a crazy day, I didn't have the opportunity to do that. So I kind of felt like I was a little bit disappointed because for some reason, I thought that they were going to have like a, either a face-to-face promo or maybe one of those split screen promos. I thought that's what we were going to get. And we ended up really getting a vignette, and that was it. I did think they hyped it up way too much for what we got there, but it was still fine, but it wasn't anything where I would say, oh my God, this was such a great thing, because it was really just a vignette. But we'll get to the details on that in just a second here. We got another super chat from Heidi Ho 77 who says, SmackDown was good, Rampage not so much. Again, I thought that SmackDown had some strong moments, strong intro, decent ending, but everything else in between was pretty much what we're always used to getting on SmackDown. I didn't really sense a change there. I thought that, again, given that we're coming off of SummerSlam, I was expecting a little bit more of a bigger field type of show. Again, we'll get into that for a second. And then Rampage, this was the most episode. I think this was the episode that felt most like what a regular Rampage is probably going to be like. Again, with their debut show, they were going to go all out and, add all of this stuff to the show. And then with CM Punk, they didn't really need to add anything. As long as you had CM Punk on the show, you were going to be okay. So, it was still okay. We still got things to talk about there. We got another super chat from Reggie Simmons who says, it's Friday night after Rampage. You know what that means. Let's talk professional wrestling. So much wrestling, guys. It is insane. And it's still like nonstop. And here's the thing, though, is I feel like everything's going so fast. If I think about it, last Friday, I was sitting and this feels like just 2 days ago, but last Friday at this time right now, I was sitting in a hotel in Las Vegas and we were all like losing our minds over CM Punk, etc. And then today I'm here, right? But then next Friday, I'm going to be in Chicago. So I'll be in Chicago doing my stream from there. But I'm just thinking to myself, like, all of these days, they're just going way too fast. But thank you so much to Reggie Simmons for sending in this super chat. We also got another super chat from Heidi Ho 77 who says, Raw page. I'll take it. I'll take the joke. Thank you so much, Heidi Ho, for sending in this super chat as well. And I'm going to go through a couple more comments here. Let's see what you guys are thinking here in terms of how you guys felt about this show. I'm going to read a couple of comments tonight. Here we go. We got a lot of different feedback here today. This one is from Aaron, and then we'll get into the show, guys. But this one's from Aaron, who says that he agrees with me on Becky's return was lackluster and wasted in his eyes. I wouldn't say it was lackluster, but it just wasn't. I didn't think it lived up to the momentum that Becky Lynch has. Our Rig says this is a problem for WWE. They will have a good pay-per-view, but they will have a bad build and then feed us bad stuff coming out of it as well. And see, I hope not. And here's the thing with Becky Lynch is that I hope that they don't let that happen to her because she's still like one of the hottest things that they have going right now. Labor Day says, I think AEW is holding back this week in preparation for Chicago shows. Well, here's the thing too, like even AEW Dynamite, like a lot of people were coming on here on that Wednesday night stream and they weren't necessarily like putting over the show as much as they normally do a bunch of the other days. We got Cassie 420 who says that Rampage was better than Dynamite. Rampage goes a lot faster. I mean, given it's half the time of Dynamite, it goes by so fast. It literally feels like a 30-minute show. We got another person saying that Crow MKI says that Rampage was also better than Dynamite for sure. Lucha Brothers versus Jurassic Express was lit. It was by far one of the best matches that I saw this week. So yeah, I would definitely put that one up there because it was really great stuff. We got people saying that they thought SmackDown was boring, nonsensical, and Slammin' Sammy Joe says agreed. Rampage was booked in reverse. And wow, we got nobody really all that happy here today, guys. Oh my God. This is a first where I feel like both shows are kind of getting a not so great reaction from people. And we got a comment from Bloody Blues who says Rampage started good promos and vignettes, but the women's match and the main event were kind of meh. Doesn't help that the crowd was dead after sitting through Dark Elevation and Dynamite. I did not, you know what? I actually enjoyed the women's match. I definitely did. I feel like it was pretty good considering that. I don't even know considering what. I liked it. I didn't think it was meh. I was actually pretty interested in that match, to be honest with you. But we'll go through everything in just a second here. We got a comment from Mark who says, what a fun night for both SmackDown and Rampage. So somebody at least here is very, very, at least somebody here is okay with all of this here. And we got people saying that Becky is a tweener, not full-on heel. She felt pretty heel to me here today. And we just got so many different comments here, guys. We got a super chat from Robert Palacios who says, if Bianca was buried, then she would have lost. If Bianca was buried, then she would have lost tonight. Doesn't it show some positive with Bianca winning tonight? I mean, very little positive in my opinion. I think that they could have gone about this in an entirely different direction. Truthfully, I think they had Bianca winning this because they were going to have to give her something after that horrendous loss at SummerSlam. Like it was just going to have to happen. But I almost feel like they also gave it to her because who else are they going to give it to? Zelina? Carmella? You know, they keep pushing Liv Morgan and then take her, like, they keep pushing her 3 steps forward and then take her 1 step back. So it's like, well, what else are the options, you know? So what can you say about that? Thank you so much to Robert for sending in this super chat as well. And we got another one from Charlie Sanchez who says, well, this week of AEW was kind of a bore. Both main events, anticlimactic of matches. The women's match was not interesting. Unfortunately, wow, I actually was pretty into the women's match, and we'll get into that. But thank you so much for sending in your thoughts. Wow, this is a total opposite feel of what we had last week. Colette Adams says, Liv Morgan actually impressed me tonight. Liv Morgan has been impressive the last couple of matches that she's had, but you guys probably wouldn't remember that because we haven't seen Liv Morgan wrestle since the Money in the Bank match. And I don't even remember when the Money in the Bank was. Yes, actually, I do remember. That was July 18. Okay, that was over a month ago now. That's the last time we saw Liv Morgan wrestle. And keep in mind that prior to that, she was on a 3-match winning streak, which for a woman on SmackDown is kind of a lot. But thank you so much to Colette Adam for also sending in the super chat. We got another one from Heidi Ho who says WWE made Liv look good in defeat. This one should this should do it more. They should do it more, excuse me. And here's the thing. I don't mind seeing Liv Morgan lose to Bianca Belair. She should be losing to Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair is your former champion, and she just got like this horrible loss on SummerSlam, a 26-second loss against Becky Lynch. So yeah, Liv should definitely be losing to Bianca in this situation. But let's go ahead and jump into Rampage, everybody. We're going to jump into Rampage, and then we'll go through SmackDown. And again, we're going to highlight the shows because both shows were decent. They were decent. But we got another super chat from Robert Palacios who says, it's like the fans these days don't like babyface chasing the title. Look at Steve Austin in late 1998 all the way to WrestleMania. See, here's the thing is that there's definitely money. There's money in the chase. I would say that. There's definitely money in the chase. I want to see the babyface go after the belt. That's what I personally enjoy. I do not mind that whatsoever. I find excitement in that. And I guess it just depends on, the viewer and what kind of viewer you are. But thank you so much to Robert Palacios for sending in this super chat. You're awesome. Thank you so much. And let's see what else we got here. We got a comment from Karen Nova who says that, quote, my issue with this Rampage too, besides the crowd being stone dead, was the amount of plugs they did for upcoming shows felt a bit much. Did they really plug in a lot of stuff there? I probably didn't realize that. I think they did 2 plugs for All Out, which obviously you're going to want to do that. They promoted Dynamite, and then they promoted next week's matches for Rampage. So I guess you can say maybe it was a lot. Keep in mind, this is all within 1 hour. But here we go. This is a match that was definitely more than decent. I think that this was the highlight of AEW Rampage. This really was the match that this was the highlight of AEW Rampage for me, guys. This is where it peaked. This is where the show peaked here tonight. We had Jurassic Express versus the Lucha Brothers. And this is the match that, finals for the tag team eliminator tournament. Whoever won from this match was going to go on to face the Young Bucks at AEW All Out September 5th inside a steel cage for the tag titles. And we've literally been on this stream talking so many times about how a lot of us felt very confident that we were going to have Jurassic Express win. And they did not. We did not have Jurassic Express win. Now, before we get into the match itself, let me just say that I felt very confident going into this that Jurassic Express was going to win. As much as I love the Lucha Brothers, and I know that Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers are going to be a phenomenal match. They're going to blow me away. I'm going to be so excited. I'm probably going to mark out like 100 times. I already know all that. So given all of that, I gotta give kudos to AEW here. And the reason for that is that they did such a great job of building Jurassic Express that a piece of me was a little disappointed when I realized it wasn't going to be them in this matchup against the Young Bucks. That was nothing to take away from the Lucha Brothers. It was just the fact that Jurassic Express has legitimately been booked in a way where you just love the guys. Like, you want to see them. Like, I don't know anybody who is not a fan of these guys of Jurassic Express? I don't think I've ever seen anyone say Jurassic Express sucks or I'm not interested. And I'm sure there's a couple people out there. Not everybody can like everything, right? But still, what I'm trying to get at is they're very popular and they did a good job at building them up. So I'm curious now is like, I feel, and I don't know if I'm right here, but I really do feel that I'm starting to think that the Young Bucks are definitely going to retain the titles. I'm still not positively sure, but I kind of feel that way, especially after I saw that the Lucha Brothers won. I have a feeling that the Young Bucks are going to retain. However, everybody else was saying like, no, this is it. Like the Lucha Brothers are finally going to win the tag titles. And I've been clamoring for the Lucha Brothers to win the tag titles for a very long time. It just kind of doesn't really feel though like they've been telling that story though. This feels like a different story. Like we're skipping a couple of steps to getting to the Lucha Brothers being tag team champions. It really does feel to me like they've skipped a couple of steps if they do have them win here. So part of me feels like the Young Bucks might be retaining, but we'll see about that. We got a super chat from Brandon Rosen. Thank you so much to Brandon, who says, I thought the point of booking the Young Bucks in a steel cage was to give a second chance to Jurassic Express. Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks will be sick. Just a missed story opportunity, in my humble opinion. I agree with you. And the reason why I agree with you is because the last time that we had Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks, we mentioned this. I talked about this 100 times. Them having the obstacle of having the elite essentially out there, making their job harder to win the title. So in a way, it's like that steel cage would have made sense to that story, and it would have made sense to the events that we saw unfold during that match on Dynamite. So the fact that they went with Lucha Brothers, I don't mind the match. Trust me, I don't mind the match. But in terms of the story, it would have made more sense to have Jurassic Express win this here. And again, that's just, maybe we just convinced ourselves. Maybe it's our fault. I don't know, but it just made more sense to the actual story. But this match, I'll tell you guys right now, is going to rock. You just know that Lucha Brothers, Young Bucks, they're going to go out there and pretty much pull out all the stops, and they're going to do some pretty unique stuff in that ring, especially with the inclusion of the cage. They're going to utilize that cage to do even like cooler stuff. They're the kind of guys that can, obviously work that type of style. So that's what they're known for. So you're going to see that. We got a super chat from Christopher Marino, who says, I think they lost because they are not ready to take the belts off the Young Bucks and don't want them to lose to Bucks again. And Lucha Brothers losing can lead into more of the Andrade stuff. See, I am completely on the same page with you, because when I started thinking this whole thing about this not being the story, BTW 316 viewers. Yeah, Austin 316. All right, anyways. So, given the fact that, this isn't necessarily the story, I feel that the reason why they didn't go with Jurassic Express is literally because I almost feel because maybe they want to still keep the titles on the Young Bucks. They don't necessarily want Jurassic Express to have this match and then lose this match. And then it's like, okay, well, eventually they're going to want to give them titles. But I feel they think that that Jurassic Express will lose more by losing to the Young Bucks and not winning the titles than if the Lucha Brothers were to lose to the Young Bucks and not win the title. So I feel they have more to lose with Jurassic Express losing to the Young Bucks. Now, I hope I didn't confuse I hope I didn't confuse people with that, but it made sense to me. But thank you so much to Christopher Moreno. So yes, I have to agree with this comment here, the super chat that you sent in. We got another one from Jose Vasquez. What's up, Jose? Jose says, bro, how good is Allin? Laughed my ass off when she yelled ew before slapping Conti. Lucha Brothers got to win the belts. I think a lot of people would mark out completely if the Lucha Brothers won the titles, like the tag titles. I think people would be happy about that. I would be happy about that. It would be pretty cool to see. And yeah, I'm a fan of Allin as well. And again, we'll get into that match in just a second. But thank you so much to Jose Vasquez for sending in this super chat as well. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Jurassic Express and Jungle Boy because we kind of talked more about the outcome, but I do want to highlight some of the moments of this match because this really was the highlight of the show here. First and foremost, we saw the Young Bucks coming out with custom-made chairs. They didn't really show too much of them. I kind of wanted to get a better look, but they gave like a decent look here. But what I kind of noticed from this match, and I think what made this match extra special, were two guys here. And obviously, all four guys played their part in this match perfectly, but I want to highlight specifically Jungle Boy and Phoenix because Jungle Boy and Ray Phoenix kicked off this match, and the way that they kicked it off, it was kind of like each guy, they kind of worked it like they knew each other so well. Like they knew what to expect from the other person. So like not one of them could get the upper hand. Eventually, Jungle Boy got the upper hand there when he hit him with a double drop kick. But it wasn't even that. It was just the fact that we saw that glimpse of them, sort of being on the same page with one another, like knowing the other person's strategy. But we also saw it play out later in the match because later in the match, we do see a moment where we see I was going to say Rey Mysterio. Oh my gosh. Ray Phoenix did a dive onto Luchasaurus at the exact same time that Jungle Boy did this dive onto Penta. So it was kind of like throughout the entire match, there was little bits and pieces where I kind of felt like this was the story that they were trying to get at here. Like they were sort of on the same page here. They felt to me like the focal point of this match. And so I really picked up on that. We saw Ray Phoenix hit a frog splash on Luchasaurus. We saw Luchasaurus hit Ray Phoenix with a headbutt here. We see Jungle Boy get tagged in immediately. He hits this clothesline. He goes for the pin, but ends up getting a 2 count here. We see Jungle Boy hit the snare trap on Phoenix, but Penta comes in and he breaks this up. We see Penta hit a backbreaker on Jungle Boy, and then he almost gets the pin here. It's very close, but it ends up being a 2 count. We see Ray Phoenix do this Hurricanrana from off the top of the rope, onto Jungle Boy, ends up tossing Jungle Boy onto all of the other guys in this match here. We then see Penta hit a destroyer on Jungle Boy on the apron of the ring apron, and then we see Ray Phoenix hit a destroyer onto Luchasaurus inside the ring, and then we see the Lucha Brothers essentially just like super kicking Luchasaurus back and forth, and then they end up hitting a double team pile driver for the win here. After the match, we do see the Young Bucks attack Penta and Phoenix, and then we see Alex Abrahantes and Marco Stuntz essentially running them off here. So again, good match, highlight of the match. If you did not watch Rampage, go out of your way to watch this match. This was a very creative match here, especially that interactions that we got between Ray Phoenix and Jungle Boy. So let's see what we got here, guys. We got the Cooge 97 putting over that Hurricanrana spot from Ray Phoenix onto Jungle Boy. Really good stuff here. And let's see what else we got. We got so many different comments about this. Let's see what else we got here. This is from Joseph Boza, who says, I'm very surprised that AEW didn't plug Mickey's pay-per-view tomorrow. That's tomorrow? I didn't even realize it. Layla Hirsch challenges Camille Brink on the brink for the NWA Women's Championship. The Nightmare Family has a team in the Women's Tag Team Tournament. I'll be honest, I didn't even realize. I lost track of my days, guys. It's been absolutely insane. Like, because I'm not necessarily recapping the show, I think I just completely forgot. We got a comment from Labor Days who says, lots of rumors AEW is getting a women's tag team division going. A lot of ladies have paired up in AEW recently, and the Iconics are back. Anna Jay is coming back soon too. Well, we'll see. I do not know here. And let's see what else we got here. So many different comments. Pomi Wrestling says Jurassic Express versus Lucha Brother was the match of the week. Carmella versus Odyssey. Carmella Hayes versus Odyssey Jones, and Brown versus Kofi Coffee. Oh, I can't even read anymore, guys. Oh my gosh. Someone's pointing out that Giannis was losing his mind. Yes, he was definitely losing his mind. Brian Coleman, guys, we got a first-time viewer here. Shout out to Brian. Thank you so much for giving my show a try. This has been a nuts day, so sorry if I'm a little bit all over the place. This is my third stream, guys, and as you can tell, my voice is kind of going away a little bit here, but either way, we'll get back to it. All righty, guys, let's move on. So after this, this is when we got that. Okay, so throughout this show, like the beginning of the show, they had been promoting this like Darby, Allin, CM Punk face off. and it made it kind of seem like it was going to be a promo. And I mentioned this at the top of the stream, but I thought it was going to be like a window thing, like where they split the screen. I thought it was going to be something else, but it ended up just being a promo package. They had CM Punk essentially saying the exact same thing that he said this past Wednesday on Dynamite, the whole thing about if he was 15 years old, he'd be a fan of Darby. And that's great because I love that promo. But they show footage of CM Punk's return. They show some footage of Darby Allin. And then they promote the AEW All Out Countdown for next Friday. And that was it. So I got to say, I was a little bit disappointed because I was expecting something else. The second they promoted it, I really was expecting something else here. So I wasn't necessarily in love with this execution of this. But let's move on because after this was pretty fun. I gotta say, I was a fan of this next segment and was probably one of my favorite parts of the show. And this is when we had Miro essentially coming out. And as he's coming out through the stage, we just see Fuego del Sol essentially being kicked. He's like rolling because Miro kicks him and sends him rolling down the ramp. And he's literally treating this grown man, he's treating him like a rag doll, worse than a rag doll. I don't even know what could be worse than a rag doll, but eventually he drags him into the ring, and this made Miro look like an absolute killer. Like, I was terrified of Miro during this segment. They did so well at portraying Miro as a killer and just making you garner so much sympathy for Fuego del Sol. Like, oh, I felt so bad for him. So bad. And so he grabs him by the tights and throws him into the ring. And this spooks Tony Schiavone. This is great because Tony Schiavone, I think, was expecting to maybe ask a question or whatever, right? And instead, he kind of like panics and like throws the microphone on the floor. And so Miro picks it up, and Miro starts telling Fuego, you shouldn't have accepted what you accepted on the debut show of Rampage, which is that contract, because if you all remember, Fuego lost to Miro. He shouldn't have been getting that contract, but he still did because the story is that he impressed Tony Khan and all of that, so they gave him the contract. But in Miro's eyes, he did not deserve that contract. So he basically tells them, I'm gonna forgive you, but first you must show your face to the Lord. And that was a little bit of a creepy line. I wasn't in love with that line. But anyways, he says you must first show your face to the Lord, and takes off his mask. And I thought that the way that this was executed was really great. Like, I wasn't a fan of the line because it creeped me out, which means that it worked. It worked when he said, you must show your face to the Lord. And that's kind of scary. But anyways, so he takes off his mask and he kicks him in the face. And you just see poor Fuego like covering his face, and he just disappears from there. Eddie Kingston then comes out, has the mic in his hand, and he's pretty much about to say something, but then decides he just wants to fight him instead. So he goes into the ring and starts to fight with Miro. He chops Miro, and then they go at it until the referees break it up. I thought this was awesome. I thought top to bottom, this was a creative little a shtick that, again, made Miro look legit. And like he hasn't already, he has been looking legit, but it still made him look more legit. Then Fuego, again, like I said, it made you feel bad for him. But then for Eddie Kingston, it was kind of like, okay, he came out and he has this, he's wanting to teach Miro a lesson. Like, he's not a fan of Miro. So I liked what this did for all three guys, even though Fuego essentially looked like pretty sad in there. But it goes with the story that they're telling with Fuego and his character with Fuego there. So that's where we go. That's what we got with all of that. And all right, guys, let's see what you guys all thought over here. Malcolm Mitchell says Fuego the Jobber without a contract becomes Fuego the Jobber with a contract. A lot of people are saying this whole contract thing. Have some interesting comments about this. We got a comment from Aaron who says, awesome segment building up Miro as a killer prior to his match with Eddie is going to be fun. Crow MKI says that intertwining Fuego, Miro, Eddie Miro is great. Miro is being booked so well right now. They really are. They have turned him around like Wrestle War. Miro is scary. He kind of is definitely coming across like that, and especially that he's doing all of these references as all these comments and promos about God. Like, it's gonna be interesting to see where this goes and where this all ends up here. We got a comment from Lenny who says, For anyone who hated that segment a few weeks ago, this was a segment for you. Miro took Fuego to task for accepting the contract in spite of losing the match. Miro snatching his mask off, then kicking him was excellent. This is how you build anticipation to a title match on pay-per-view. Outstanding stuff by Miro and Eddie Kingston. I agree. I 100% agree. There was a lot of people who were not a fan of how the contract situation with Fuego del Sol was executed. And I get why those people were upset, but it was such a great moment. So I didn't care. I loved that. I really, really did. But I do agree with Lenny in the sense that this was kind of a way to maybe, I don't know, please those people. And it makes sense. Miro should be pissed. Miro won that match fair and square. He beat the living hell out of him. Fuego del Sol had his chance and he didn't succeed. And we're going to go through a couple more comments. We got a couple super chats, actually. Thank you guys so much. This one is from Robert, who says, is now the time for Eddie to win? He's so over. I don't think so. I feel like right now Miro is really like, Miro is just like, I don't feel like Eddie Kingston's as over. I don't really know. See, it's like a different type of over. I feel like they're just two totally different people. So I don't even know how I would want to answer that right now. Connecting people through wrestling sends in a super chat and says, just left SmackDown. I have to catch up on Rampage. Well, we're kind of talking about it right now, so I'll probably spoil a couple of things for you. I'll actually probably spoil everything from you. We got another super chat from Francis Ivan Tria, who says, need a follow-up on Sunny Kiss and Joey Janela. But okay, I probably got to get more information on you for that one here. I'll have more information, or at least a little bit more to say later on, because I don't think I got really much to say as of this moment. But thank you so much for sending in this super chat here. And I'm going to go through a couple more comments here. People just really want, okay, Mike in Brooklyn says Miro needs to keep the belt for at least 800 days. Christopher is putting over Eddie Kingston's promo work, which we always do because his promo work is literally outstanding. And thank you. Pomi Wrestling says that's a Dark thing. Thank you. I do not watch Dark because I just do not have the time, guys. I read little bits in here and there of what goes down, but I legitimately just don't have the time to always watch Dark. I'll probably tune in like very randomly. So let's see what else we got here, which is always why I'm a fan of them actually telling us things that happen on Dark for us people that do not have the time to watch Dark. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and move on though, guys. All right, let's see. So before I move on to the next topic here, I do want to take a second here to remind you guys all that I'm going to be back on Tuesday for NXT, and it looks like we're going to have that new NXT logo. That's all happening on Tuesday, so make sure to tune in for that because we're going to start seeing these changes on NXT, and who knows how those are going to go down. Then we're going to be essentially doing the go-home show for All Out on Dynamite. It'll be the Dynamite go-home show for All Out, so that's going to be very fun. So make sure you guys tune in for that, and then I will be back on Friday. I will be recapping SmackDown and Rampage, and I'm going to be doing my show on Friday again from a hotel room in Chicago, and let's just pray that my internet in Chicago works as good as it did in Las Vegas. So let's just pray on that end here. And oh my gosh, guys, we got so many people talking about that new NXT logo, guys. I feel so bad. I love the colors. I do. I like bright colors. You all know that. I mean, look at me here with black and pink. But I did think that the logo looked very similar to the Dynamite logo with the paint and the splatter and all of that. It was just instantaneously. The only difference to me was that AEW has the black backdrop and they had the white backdrop, and the texture was a little bit differently of like the paint or the splatter, whatever you want to call that plate splatter thing. But the point is that it did look similar, and you knew people were gonna when I saw that, I went right away to the comments to see if anybody else had brought it up because I noticed it right away. And I thought, okay, if I noticed it, there's got to be other people that noticed it. And yeah, they did notice it. But I mean, it's going to be very different. I don't mind it. I don't love it and I don't hate it, but it is going to feel very different because I'm so used to NXT with that black and gold, guys. It's going to be weird. I love seeing that very edgy NXT style. I thought that was cool. I was a fan of all that edgy stuff. And even though it's not my type of music, I was into all of the metal rock music that they would play on the shows. It was very, very authentic to NXT. So I don't know what they're going to be doing now. And I'm a little bit nervous about it, but we will see here. All right, but let's get into this women's match. So a lot of people, a couple of people were commenting here earlier that they weren't necessarily crazy about this match, but I actually enjoyed this match. We had Ty Conti versus the Bunny. First things first, we see Bunny go on the attack right away. I got to put over Ty Conti here. I think she's done a really phenomenal job in terms of just becoming more confident in the ring. She does things a lot more smoothly. Like, it's been this tremendous amount of growth, like within the last, year or so, or however long. It's just, I've been seeing, like, I feel like from the first time that I saw her to now, like, she's learned to incorporate like the judo wrestling. She's learned to incorporate judo into her wrestling, and you are noticing that, and it's making her more confident as a worker. And you can tell, I can definitely see it in the ring. So I do want to take a second to put over Ty Conti, and I just don't understand how, like, this girl, I feel just the more experience that she gets, the more work that she gets, I do think that she can be a top star in AEW. Like, I can see her being up there, with, being an opponent, a challenger to Britt Baker. And we do see Penelope Ford coming out and essentially distracting Ty Conti. And during this distraction, she also causes a distraction with the referee. So this gives the Blade the opportunity to give Bunny the brass knucks. And so Bunny uses the brass knucks on Ty Conti. She hits her with them, and that's how she's able to get the win here. So I do like that they gave Bunny a win here on Rampage. And then at the same time, you also protected Ty Conti. So I was actually a fan of this. And given that we don't often get to see Penelope Ford all that much on Dynamite or Rampage, really, I enjoyed seeing her coming out and being part of this as well. Because like I mentioned, I don't get to watch Dark. I don't get to watch Dark Elevation. So, getting to see these people that we don't normally see on Dynamite and Rampage is a plus. We got a super chat from Heidi Ho 77 who says, it's a little off topic tomorrow, but are you going to watch, review, and power? No, guys, I'm not. I don't think I will. I'm not doing a post show for the show. I might watch, but I still haven't decided yet because tomorrow is kind of my day off, and I haven't had a day off in a very long time. So I think I might take it tomorrow. I don't want to burn myself out because it's just like, doing wrestling post shows every day. I don't get to watch anything else really. So I kind of want to take my day off tomorrow. Although tomorrow I'm still doing my AEW All Out trivia stream. But other than that, it's like a 1 hour stream, and then I'll have the rest of the day off. And then Sunday I'm doing a little bit of work. But this weekend I'm taking it a little bit easier because it's been just go, go, go. And it's going to be go, go, go because we're heading into All Out. So it's going to be nonstop. Total action. Thank you so much to Heidi Ho for asking, though. I really appreciate it here. And let's see what else we got here. And all right, I'm gonna go through a couple comments, make sure I didn't miss anything, but we'll see some other things here. Let's see. We got a comment from Tunol who says, pairing Allin and Penelope Ford makes sense since they seem to be friends in real life, seem to do a lot of on social media stuff together. I haven't seen any of their social media stuff. So thank you for letting me know about this because, yeah, it looks like they're definitely, pairing them up together. And I'm excited to see where this goes because they seem to have very different characters. So I'm going to be interested to see. It's going to be interesting to see how they play off of one another. So that'll be great. Malcolm says Ty Conti has such a huge upside and is easily one of the most marketable women around the world. Yes, she does. She has the same thing. She reminds me a lot of Liv Morgan in the sense that they're both very likable girls that you look at them, and I feel like a lot of times, like, people see like a very gorgeous woman and they tend to be like very put off by that. But even though you got like these gorgeous women like in Ty Conti and in Liv Morgan, they don't come off that way though. They come off very lovable, like Alexa Bliss, like very lovable. And you're just like, oh, I'm so excited. Like, I really like this person because their personality, it comes through. That's what I'm trying to get at here. And so it really makes you like them. And then also it doesn't help that, all of those people that I just mentioned are not bad in the ring. And, Ty Conti has definitely, like I said, improved. And I do agree with Malcolm. She has a huge upside as well. I think she's somebody that can be easily loved by all across the board. Very likable here. And so, all right, let's see what else we got here. Labor Day says that Conti is over as hell too. She gets big reactions on dark and on indie shows. There you go, proving my point. She's easily likable, guys. Sticker Reds 202 says, like Lily, she's lovable and it comes through. No one tops Lily. Lily is the most likable, most lovable gal out there, okay? I mean, I would hand the show over to Lily and have her take over it because she's just so much better at everything. Thank you so much to Sticker Reds 202 for always making me laugh on this stream here. I appreciate. Cassie 420 says not Alexa Bliss as of late. Yeah, I get it, guys. I still love Alexa Bliss. See, that's the thing. Alexa Bliss is like overall one of my favorite women's wrestlers because I just love the girl. Like I am such a big fan of hers that even though all this terrible stuff that she's been doing with Lily, because I like Alexa Bliss so much, I'm able to look past some of that stuff. And instead I see, the great acting that she brings upon. I see the plus and the bright side on it, okay? But it's because I genuinely really like Alexa Bliss. So there you go. All right, guys, but let's move on because we still got kind of a bit to talk about here. And, all right, so Mark Henry does an interview, a split screen interview with Kenny Omega and Christian Cage. I first want to take a second and bless Mark Henry's heart, guys. Really bless him. He is so funny. He's so funny, but he's very, very, how do I say this? He's not polished in this position. He's not that great. He's kind of a little bit robotic when he does these interviews, but it makes me laugh so hard though, because I feel like we're so used to seeing people like Dasha, Kayla Braxton, Renee when she was doing it, and they're just so good at what they do. And then you have Mark Henry, who's like total like opposite of it. But he's very funny, but I actually enjoy when he does these split screen interviews just because I really want to see how he handles himself. So there you go. Thumbs up, Mark Henry. But we essentially just have, this was like, okay, like I feel like a lot of what we heard here is pretty much the same thing we've already been hearing on AEW Dynamite between Kenny and Christian that we just heard this past week. Really the thing to take away here is that Kenny Omega says that he's planning on defeating Christian Cage with the one-winged angel. So that's something that we got there, but we're going to move on from this because we got a super chat from Robert Palacios. Thank you so much to Robert, who says, it's the little things for me. I love the split interviews before the main event of Rampage. Just makes it feel like such an old school show. What do you think of this? I love this. I've been saying this from the debut show. Well, actually, let me rewind a little bit because I've been saying that I'm a fan of the split screen stuff for a while now, But in terms of on Rampage, I like that they do it, especially right before like the main event. I like that. I think that it adds something different. So I feel like you have to switch things up. You don't always want to see things in the exact same spot. So just adding that incorporation of the split screen element, I think makes it feel just a little bit different, and therefore you're paying attention maybe a little bit more, and it's easier for them to get your attention. I'm a fan of the split screen stuff. I enjoy it. Thank you so much to Robert for asking and for sending in a super chat as well. And all right, here we go, guys. Let's get into the main event. There's really not much to say here. We have Kenny Omega and Brandon Cutler versus Christian Cage and Frankie Kazarian. I'll be honest with you guys. I was not into this main event. I didn't think it was that great. I didn't think it was anything out of this world. We saw Christian get several punches on Kenny Omega towards the end as he corners him. And then we saw, there was a little bit of comedy during this match, especially with the incorporation of Brandon Cutler. We see Kenny accidentally get Cutler in the face with V-trigger. And then we see Frankie and Christian Cage get the upper hand during this match. So once they get the upper hand, this kind of spooks Kenny Omega. So he leaves this match. And then we see Christian, he spears Brandon Cutler, and then he hits him with the kill switch. And that's how he's able to win this match here. So it wasn't really my cup of tea. This one wasn't something that I necessarily loved. So I would say all in all, if I were to grade Rampage today, I'd probably give it a C because I did enjoy that opening match with Jurassic Express and the Lucha Brothers. And I also really enjoyed that Miro segment with Eddie Kingston and Fuego. But I think about everything else was just kind of there. Everything else could have been on the show, off the show, and it wouldn't have made a difference for me here. Wrestle War wants to put over Cutler and says Cutler was funny, at least with his bumping and over-the-top elbow drops. Exactly. He's going to bring the comedy into this, and he definitely did. And so everybody's pointing this out here too, so I agree with that. All right, guys. And we got a super chat from Malcolm Mitchell who says Cutler belongs on the outside of the arena. How sad. Poor Brandon. Poor Brandon. I like the guy. I really do like the guy. But yeah, this one just wasn't a blow away main event is what I'm trying to get at. It didn't hurt anybody, but wasn't blow away. I'm not going to remember it. Next week, I probably won't even remember. Robert Palacio sends in a super chat and says Cutler is the perfect geek. Christopher Marino says they have done the same match before, but with Nakazawa. You're right. They did. And look, I completely forgot about that one too. But thank you so much to Christopher Marino and Robert Palacios and Malcolm who just sent in super chats here. We got this comment from Bloody Blues who says Cutler was hilarious backstage and in the match, but felt absolutely inconsequential, hard to care for. Sorry, guys. I need a drink. Like I said, this is my third show of the day. And it's Friday. I'm all showed out, guys. I'm all showed out. And we're going to go ahead and jump into the next topic here, which is SmackDown. So do not leave me here because we got some good stuff to talk about here today. At least some pretty decent stuff. So we'll kind of get through this pretty fast because there isn't that much to say. So this will be pretty quickly. Actually, before I do, I don't want you guys to forget that tomorrow I do go live on youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. I am going to be doing an AEW All Out trivia game via Kahoot. So if you guys know Kahoot and you guys want to come play, it's free and open to everybody. And I'm giving away prizes. If you win first prize, you get a $50 gift card to Shop AEW. If you win second place, you get a $25 Shop AEW gift card. And if you win third place, you get a $15 Shop AEW gift card. This is tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. British Summer Time. So if you guys want to come in and have some fun, it's going to be so much fun. You're literally going to be playing trivia with like a bunch of other people. And so if this goes well, guys, I might do more, okay? I might do more stuff like this on there, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Also, BTW, like I've been having a bunch of giveaways on my page. I hope you guys have been enjoying those too. They've been pretty popular. And all my giveaways, they all come out of my own pocket. So it's like I don't have a like partnership with anybody when I do these promotions here. So I just want you guys to make sure that, you guys take part in the promotions and all of that. BTW guys, there's a lot of bad stuff right now in the chat. I am blocking all of these people. If you do not want to be blocked here, do not put very bad stuff like you guys are putting. So please, guys, this usually never happens on the chat, but just heads up. I do not have a moderator on this chat. It's just me. So I am blocking all of these people. So if you put really bad stuff, like some of the stuff we're seeing right now, you will get blocked here, guys. So I'm sorry because there's a lot of really people here that are genuinely here for the show. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to try to block people as much as I can. But I'm going as fast as I can. So please do not send really bad stuff like that. And I'm probably going to have to get some sort of person to do some moderating here. All right, guys, here we go. Let's do this, everybody. All right. Oh, wow. I'm having to block a bunch of people, guys. Sorry about this. This just never happens on this show, BTW. This is actually the first. This is not something we normally get. So apologies. I'm blocking people as much as we can get. We got DRC229 who makes a joke and says Twitch chat is superior. Yeah, right now it's the YouTube chat is a mess, everybody. Again, this is not something we normally see. I'm blocking everybody, but they got so many accounts, so they're just coming, guys. I'm blocking them as fast as we can. All right, let's get into SmackDown, everybody here. And we got we got Becky Lynch kicking off the show, everybody. And this is the person that has been talked about for like ever. There's so many times that people were like, when's Becky coming back? When's Becky coming back? And I won't recount everything that went down on at SummerSlam because we've already talked about that. We've already covered everything. But pretty much how her situation with Bianca Belair was handled wasn't necessarily something that was loved by many fans. In fact, it was pretty much hated and trashed upon, okay? That interview that I did with Bianca Belair, that is now almost at 300,000 views, and I cannot tell you how many thousands of comments we've gotten, and like 90% of those thousands of comments are literally people being so upset with how they treated Bianca Belair in this situation. So, I mean, it is just like absolutely it is just crazy. But anyways, so we're going to get into this because she comes out and she basically says that, you know, she's here to be back on top. She says that, you know, giving up the title when she announced that she was pregnant was one of the hardest things that she ever had to do. She says that now she has this new life and this new identity, and that fans have no idea how deadly she can be. And when she mentions SummerSlam, she gets these massive amounts of boos from the audience. And, you know, she says that she's sorry. And then she says, she swerves the audience by saying that she's sorry, but for absolutely nothing. And so essentially, we see Bianca coming out. Bianca Belair comes out and she gets this massive pop from everybody. I think this was probably one of the biggest pops she's gotten, aside from when she won the Royal Rumble and aside from when she won the championship. She got this major pop here. And then she basically tells Becky Lynch, you know, she wants a title shot and she wants a title shot tonight. But then we get an interruption from Zelina Vega. Now, keep in mind, Zelina Vega comes out because she wants a title shot. Guys, Zelina Vega has lost every single match that she's had since returning to WWE. So the fact that they're having her go out there asking for these title shots, oh, it's just not working out. And she got massive boos here, guys. The crowd was just basically chanting, "You suck." And then she was mocking Bianca Belair for wanting a rematch. And then she calls her a little dog, saying that she should take a step back and that she should be the one to get the title shot here. And then just when you think it's over, but it's never usually never over, we see Carmella coming out. And then this is what I didn't necessarily like. Carmella comes out and uses one of Scarlett's most infamous lines, the one where she said, like, "Shut up, 5 of 10 is talking" on Impact Wrestling. And Carmella comes out and pretty much says the exact same thing. And I thought to myself, no, you can't have her do this. Like, that became such an iconic line and it became so trademarked. Like, it became like a thing for Scarlett, and everybody, whenever you hear that, it belongs to Scarlett because she made it famous or made it popular, whatever you want to say. So I didn't necessarily love the aspect of her using that line because everybody knows that's not her material and it's somebody else's. But then we see Liv Morgan coming out, and Liv Morgan comes out and she makes these points about, you know, Carmella and Zelina coming out here and asking for these matches when in fact they shouldn't be here because they've lost all of these matches. And she makes a point. She should be a contender. But then again, we have not seen Liv Morgan wrestle since Money in the Bank. And at Money in the Bank, people wanted to see Liv Morgan win that briefcase, and she didn't. Nikki Ash did. But prior to this, like I mentioned earlier, she had won 3 weeks in a row. She had winning matches. She was coming out. She was getting these promos. She was getting over with the crowd. And it kind of seems like they were going a certain direction with Liv Morgan, and you thought, okay, maybe they're going to do something with her. They finally have a story for her, and then they just completely like made her disappear, and there has been nothing for Liv Morgan. So she finally comes out here and she's trying to get herself a match too. And I mean, I'm just thinking to myself, like, this is just insane how we haven't even seen Liv Morgan. Carmella makes a joke about Liv being in catering, and then Becky essentially Becky just says no. They end up doing this 4-way. But prior to this, I'm asking to myself, where the hell is Toni Storm? Where is she? They literally made this big hoorah about her coming to SmackDown. They promoted her, all of this. And then we saw her once, and then that was it. And then I think she was even like trending for a bit on Twitter because I saw a bunch of people essentially asking, where the hell is Toni Storm? She would have been perfect in this situation. I mean, if you're throwing in all these women, you might as well add Toni Storm here. Now, I do want to quickly get into this match because, as I mentioned at the top of the stream, Fox Sports was giving me a really, really hard time tonight, guys. So I literally just caught the final moments of this four-way between Bianca, Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Zelina. All you need to know that the final two women were Bianca, Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan looked pretty good in this match. Good for her. She ended up losing to Bianca, which I do not think is an issue because, again, Bianca's a former champion. But either way, I was pretty pissed at Fox Sports app, by the way. So that's kind of what we got from that opening segment. So that was honestly the highlight of the show. We got a super chat from Michael Raleigh. Thank you so much to Michael, who says, sending you a 20 for no reason. Thanks for making this place a positivity. Thank you so much, Michael. I really, really thank you. And everybody who tunes in, watches this show. And to those that also send in super chats, I mean, like, I love this job. People ask me how I keep going. I keep going because I love this job and it's so much fun. And I'm just very happy about, like, everything. So Michael, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for sending in this massive super chat. I really, really appreciate it. And we got another super chat from Brandon. Thank you so much to Brandon, who says, can we stop for a moment and admire how smart Liv Morgan is? She was spitting truth in her promo. 150,000%. She was spitting facts here in her promo. And this is what I mean, guys. She's somebody, like I said, similar to Ty Conti, that is likable. She can get over if they actually pushed her and marketed her properly. She is definitely somebody that I think they have a star with her. And she's so young too. Like, then she's so cute and she's got a good look. And, you got a lot of upside to her as well. So I would definitely say, take a second and, do something with her. But we've been saying this for a very long time. This is not absolutely nothing new. We got another super chat from Malcolm Mitchell, who says, maybe Tony had the same chat Naomi had with Sonya. Even if she did, we'd have no idea. And let's talk about Naomi now since we're here and since Malcolm just mentioned it. Naomi, ladies and gentlemen, who you guys were all seeing on Monday Night Raw, she was teaming with Lana. So she was teaming with Lana for a while here. And actually, you know what? Let me check something here. Let me get into this database really quickly because now that I realized it, I don't even know when's the last time I saw Naomi actually wrestle. I think it might have been give me 1 second, guys. It was also the Money in the Bank, ladies and gentlemen. We have not seen Naomi since the Money in the Bank, guys. And, they let go of Lana a while ago, and then we kind of really didn't see much of that. We saw Naomi team up with Asuka to face Doudrop and Eva Marie twice. And then actually they turned this into a few times. She was in a 4-way on Raw. She was on an 8-person tag on Raw. Don't even remember that. And then the Money in the Bank, and that's it. So she's now on SmackDown, and they did her so dirty too on SmackDown because she came in and, Sonya Deville's in her little office and she comes in and she basically says, like, I'm here, she's in a good mood. And then Sonya Deville is just like, she's all like, I didn't even know you were going to be here. Like, why are you even here? I didn't even know why you were going to be here. And then Naomi, instead of just sticking up for herself, she's just like, yeah, okay. All right, cool. And then that's it. That's it, guys. She didn't even stand up for herself. Nothing. They did not give her anything, guys, to like make her anything. Like, they made her seem so unimportant, which was very, 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 very sad. And we got a lot of people saying that Naomi should join the Bloodline faction. We got so many people saying this. And I mean, this just feels very obvious and they should do it. Karen Nova says, I've only seen a little of Liv, but even then you can tell she's got a lot of potential that will probably be squandered. Oh, man. And we got so many people here just basically. This one's from Brian, who says that he's a huge fan of the Riot Squad and that it sucks that his favorite member of the squad, Sarah and Ruby, got released. Liv is the last one left. I'm honestly scared she'll get released soon. I hope not, and I don't think so, because I do think even though they don't know what to do with her, I think they know they got something there with her. They just don't know. Either they don't know what to do with her or they feel like they have something to do with her, but it's not the right time. I don't even know anymore, guys. I'm trying to come up with a reason to justify all of this, but I don't really have a reason here. And so it just sucks because we're seeing the same things with Carmella and Zelina over and over, and nobody has any interest. So it's like, throw in somebody else, throw in Tony, throw in Naomi, do something there. Edgar says, why don't you get Spectrum? You already have the internet. Well, here's the thing about that, guys. I would have to watch in the West Coast time, and I can't. If I watch in the West Coast time, I wouldn't be able to do this show, which is why I have to watch on the Fox Sports app so that I can get the East Coast, the East Coast version of SmackDown. That's the best way that I can put it, so that I can watch live with everybody else. It kind of, being on the West Coast has its perks, and then when it comes to SmackDown, kind of doesn't have its perks. So we'll go ahead and move on from this, guys. All right. We had a match between Chad Gable and Cesaro. All I really want to get at here is that everything that Chad Gable does is absolutely beautiful. He had a beautiful moonsault during this match. Cesaro goes for the swing, but Otis ends up breaking this up and causes a DQ, so there really isn't anything to say there. Post-match, we see Otis do a splash from the top rope onto Cesaro. That's it. Now let's get into Happy Corbin. So give me a second, guys. So I think, it was Fightful Select that had reported that a while back that Happy Corbin had been trademarked by WWE or something like that, right? And so we knew this was coming, and we knew that they were going this direction. We had the broke Corbin, and he went to Las Vegas. He had his ups and downs, but eventually he's back in SmackDown now, and he's absolutely filthy rich. He comes in with a Bentley, his fancy car, his fancy clothes. He has a fancy hat, all of it. Then he comes out to this Las Vegas theme song, everybody, and I'm like dying because he has the little the little slot machines, and it's like whatever. It's hilarious. Like, this was funny. So he comes out to his Las Vegas theme song. He has his champagne. He has the red carpet there. He even has the little red ropes there. I mean, everything. And he plays a clip of his Las Vegas experience. So pretty much everything you've been seeing on social media, they highlight that on the actual show. He calls out Big E. Big E comes down and he tells Baron Corbin that he's just happy that he doesn't smell anymore. Corbin then offers to buy off of him the Money in the Bank briefcase. He offers him $20,000. Then he goes up to $100,000. Big E's like, yeah, the kids might need braces, but you know what? No, I'm not going to go ahead and do this, right? So that was pretty much that. And then that was pretty much it of that here. But we got a super chat from Robert who says, have you heard anything on Sasha Banks? I respect privacy, but I just hope that she's okay. I don't know, guys. I mean, this whole situation with Sasha Banks has been, I don't know if I should say crazy, but I would say crazy just because of the way that that match was still promoted all the way up until SummerSlam when they knew she wasn't going to be there. And I think how all the fallout from that has been crazy. As for her situation, I don't know what her situation is. I don't know what is going on with her. And, there's people speculating things, and there's always going to be speculations on everybody and everything. But until we actually get confirmation from Sasha Banks herself, we can't assume or say things about her or her personal life that we may not know about until we're actually sure. Everybody keeps bringing up the Keith Lee situation. A lot of us were so positive that, oh, Vince hates Keith Lee. And then all of a sudden Keith Lee comes out and tells us he's been having these issues. And we're like, oh, snap. Like, nobody saw that coming. So we just don't know what's going on with Sasha Banks. And, the fans have been asking for her. They've been doing the hashtag We Want Sasha. I guess it's up to her. I mean, maybe she could choose to speak to her fans. She could choose to be private. I mean, I guess at this point it's up to her, or we just wait and see till she returns, and then we'll just never know why she was gone for this. I think now, a month maybe now? When is the last time we saw Sasha Banks on a show? Give me a second, guys. I should have probably had this already noted down, but it really sucks because, everybody wanted to see that match with her and Bianca Belair, and I'm sure we will see it. All right, so it's been since August 7th, which necessarily has been maybe 2 or 3 weeks now. So maybe not too much time, but enough to at least miss SummerSlam. Thank you so much to Robert Palacios for sending in this super chat as well. All righty, here we go. After this, we do see tension, a little bit of tension between Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. But let's get into the Shinsuke Nakamura Rick Boogs match with with I was gonna say Robert Roode, Bobby Roode, I don't even know anymore, with Roode and Ziggler. And I just got to be honest with you guys. This match was not anything like, I'm not a fan of the Dirty Dogs. I haven't been able to get into them for months. I just have not been interested. The only thing I really want to talk about here is Rick Boogs, because Rick Boogs was really impressive during this. He did a swinging gut wrench suplex during this match, and that looked hard as hell. And it looked impressive. They showed his strength, they showed his athleticism, everything that he does it with energy, so it adds to what he's doing in the ring. And obviously, we already know the guy has personality. He does end up getting the win for his team, so I thought that this was perfectly fine. In terms of just getting Rick Boogs over, this was it. We already talked about Naomi. And then another thing, I feel so bad, but it's just like they're not giving us much to work with here, guys. We had Dominic versus Sami Zayn. I'm sorry, but I just don't think that there's really much fan interest in Dominic. This was boring. We didn't really have a reason to care. Sami Zayn won this match, but there wasn't anything to really get at here, guys. Like, I feel like instead of this match, we could have had a women's match with Toni Storm. We could have had a match with Naomi. Hell, Sonya Deville could have been like, you know what, Naomi, since you're here, you know what, go have a match with, I don't know, anybody at this point. Hell, she could have been the mystery opponent for Dominic Mysterio. Well, not really, because we didn't want to really see Dom. But yeah, it was not that great, guys. After this, the closing segment that we had was essentially Finn Balor challenging Roman Reigns. This was good because you want to see this. Finn Balor was screwed out of that match at SummerSlam, and he never got his revenge whatsoever. He got his revenge on Baron Corbin, but that's about it. He challenges Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns doesn't say anything to him. That pisses off Finn Balor. So Finn Balor punches him in the face. So then he starts attacking Roman Reigns, but he's outnumbered because the Usos are right there. I love this because even though Finn Balor knew that he was in the ring with this man who had two other people right there at his side that weren't necessarily far from him whatsoever, he knew that if he attacked Roman Reigns, these guys were all going to jump him all at once. And they did. I thought it made Finn Balor look like a real badass here. So I was a fan of this. We do see the Street Profits come out and essentially, help even out the odds a little bit for Finn Balor. So it looks like we're probably going to be getting, the Usos and Roman Reigns versus the Street Profits and Finn Balor. So we'll probably be seeing that next week or something. But that was SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen. And that was also Rampage. So we got so much different stuff here. Let's see if we got any last minute comments here. We had a comment from Advi who says that Paul Heyman was getting really paranoid tonight. He was. I thought it was hilarious though when he was walking around Roman saying like, yes, my tribal chief. Of course, my tribal chief. Anything you need, my tribal chief. Oh, I love that. That was hilarious. Brandon says he thought Lesnar was advertised for tonight. I'm not sure, actually. I assumed he was going to be on, but that was just me assuming. I don't recall if he was advertised or not. And Christopher says, I really hope Dominic Mysterio can figure it out. I want him to be successful like his father, Rey Mysterio. Dude, his dad is Rey Mysterio. His dad set the bar really high up there, man. I think he'll have some success, definitely, but I don't think he's going to be at that Rey Mysterio level because if he was, he would have been there already. So yeah, I do kind of feel bad for him because when your dad is Rey Mysterio and you're trying to live up to that, that's pretty hard to do. But, again, he's going to get better with more and more practice working with different guys. It's just not working right now on SmackDown. This is the A show and you're getting Dominic Mysterio versus Sami Zayn. It's not necessarily the greatest. Alrighty, guys, there you go. I think we pretty much covered everything here today. Wow, what a day. I just want to say thank you guys so much for seriously taking part in all of these shows. And please, tomorrow, guys, make sure you guys tune in for my AEW All Out Kahoot game. I've never done anything like this before. So I hope that if it does go over well with people and people actually tune in and it's worth it, then I could do more and it could be a fun community thing. So if you guys want to have a good time, challenge yourself with some trivia, and you never know, you might be the smartest person there and then you could win some gift cards. That's always really nice. So make sure you guys tune in for that, youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. Other than that, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter and on Instagram @ Denise Salcedo. Give this video a like, subscribe to F4W Online, and I will see you on Tuesday to talk about NXT. Other than that, guys, have a great weekend. Bye, everybody.